Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, wherever I'm finding you today, and welcome back to another video on my channel. Today we're going back into the fantastic world of petty revenge, and without further ado, let's get right into it, shall we? I do apologize if you hear any background noise. I am making myself some coffee. Yes, I'm making myself some coffee because I have been unable to do any recording all week because of how busy I've been and also how warm it's been. If it's not been busy, it's been warm. If it's not been warm, it's been busy. So, anyway, let's get into the first story, shall we? Some guy parked across 3 handicapped spots and left his windows open. That is the title. So let's get into it, shall we? This happened just yesterday. In late April, I hurt my foot and ankle, which required surgery, so I was given a temporary handicap place card. Placard. I went to Target to pick up some groceries in the middle of the afternoon, when I knew it would be dead, except a single car was taking up 3 spots, parked horizontally across the 3 lanes, like a twat, basically. So, a very nice Porsche is sitting there with no tags, no placards, and the passenger window side wide open like an invitation. I grabbed some dirt and gravel from nearby and lightly sprinkled it all over the seats, the passenger seats, for theatrics. Then I went inside and told the front desk I thought I saw a raccoon slip into the Porsche, hogging 3 handicapped spots. They announced over the intercom. Asking the owner to come up, I stayed within viewing distance to see what would happen when a dude practically ran over, yelling about his car, calling the employees names for lack of pest control, clearly angry and yelling. Not long after, a big biker-looking security guard showed up and then called parking enforcement to handle the parking violation. He was also banned from Target for his conduct. Meanwhile, I doubt there was any sign of a raccoon in his car. Edit: for people who have trouble reading, there was never a raccoon. Okay, that's also kind of petty as well. I like that. I like that a lot. I do. Also, let's not blame the raccoons. Even though there was not a raccoon, let's not blame the raccoons. They're little darlings, they're little trash pandas. We love raccoons in this house. I love that one. Moving on to the next one. Roommate always left dirty dishes, so I started stacking them in her. Okay, I had 2 housemates who stacked dirty dishes, not just like in the sink, but in their rooms as well. Like, not both of them, like, one did it in their room, one did it, like, just in the kitchen, and it was disgusting. They also did the same with rubbish, and it was gross. So I'm looking forward to this one. I used to live with a roommate who refused to do her dishes. Every single day, the sink was full of plates and mugs and half-eaten food. I brought it up so many times. At first I was polite, then frustrated, then just tired. Nothing happened. One night I got home after a shift, and the kitchen smelled like something had died. I'd had enough. I grabbed every single dirty dish she left and stacked them right on her bed. Not dramatic, just tucked them in under the covers like it was normal. That's really cute. She absolutely lost it. She called me gross and immature. I told her it was the first time those dishes made it to this proper place. She didn't speak to me for a few days, but guess what? She started doing her dishes. No regrets. I'm living vicariously through you, darling. I love this. Thank you so much. Another one. My roommate kept stealing my oat milk, so I switched it with watered down mayo juice. Ew. He swore he wasn't touching it, but every week the carton got lighter. Okay. I had the same housemates also took like my food. I had color coordinated food because I have a very spicy brain that doesn't like it when I eat different colors. So I'm looking forward to this one too. I put a sticky note on it. It didn't work. I moved it to the back of the fridge. Still vanished. So I got surgical. Ooh. I took an empty oat milk container, filled it with a blend of mayo, warm water, and a splash of vinegar for tang. Ooh, you're chefing it up over here. Some color, same color, same texture, pure evil. Put it right in the front of the fridge, label facing out, waited. The next morning, I hear it. Sip, gag, spit, cough. In that order. He slammed the fridge and shouted, "What the hell is wrong with this milk?" I blink at him and I say, "I don't know, tastes fine to me." And he learned his lesson. Neighborhood kids were jerks, so ellipsis. That is the next title. How ominous. When I was first married, in brackets, many years ago, we rented an upstairs apartment from a widow. Very fair rent, and we both got along great with her. A divorced daughter. A divorced daughter lived next door with 4 kids. Okay, so the widow's daughter was divorced from someone else. Okay, with 4 kids. Okay, I was a grade school teacher, and the younger 2 kids would invite me to swim small above ground pool. But as the older kid, 11, grew, he became a real smartass. Wait, he invited you to swim? That's weird. He became a real smartass. He and his friends would get annoyed when we parked in the small gravel lot by the house. We had no options at the time, but they wanted to play wiffle ball there and only there. I don't know what wiffle ball is, so somebody let me know in the comments. So a couple days in a row, I got tomatoed and egged and mud slung at my car. Ew. I finally had enough and bought a dozen eggs and left them in my trunk for a week or so. Got up in the middle of the night on one of these hot summer nights and delivered half a dozen to the neighbours' cars. The one whose kids were doing the math on my car. The next morning, the parents were out trying to clean fried eggs off their car. I sort of sauntered by and said, "Oh wow, you guys got hit too? My car's been hit 4 times in that last week." And that was the end of kids screwing with my car. I'm not sure I like that one, you know. It's kind of anticlimactic. Kids egged your cars, so you did the same. It's petty revenge, but it's more just like karma. It's not petty revenge. This next one sounds better. I left my ex and took his PlayStation, but not as you might think. This happened almost 10 years ago, but is still one of my pettiest victories of this day. I, back then 19, left my abusive ex almost overnight, after 4 years. It wasn't a nasty breakup, but the relationship was the worst I'd ever experienced. I'm glad you are no longer in that relationship. I didn't make a scene, I just left and moved 600 kilometers. I don't know how far that is in miles, while he was at work. I was safe, I was fine. Glad you're safe. One random day a few weeks later, I received an email, a confirmation for some PlayStation game. I did not own a PlayStation. I was actually confused for a second, until it hit me. He had used my email address for his account. I had no idea for how long, but I knew it wouldn't continue. At the bottom of the mail was something along the lines of, "This wasn't you, click here." Hehe. I love this, I love this. And I sure did. 2 clicks later, they thanked me for letting me know of this possible fraud, and had blocked everything that had to do with my, in quotations, account. I had blocked my ex, but I kinda got a hint that he was not amused at all when his best friend wrote a really nice message saying that everything he ever bought, which was a lot, is gone, and all his progress in any game got deleted, and he would need to verify his ID with PlayStation in order to get a new account. And what a terrible, terrible human being I am. Sounds like a him problem, doesn't it? Well, he shouldn't have used your email, should he? I like that one a lot. So much more better than the other one. Going to watch movies at 2 a.m. next to my bedroom? Enjoy your wake-up call. For my master's degree, I was living in an apartment building for mature students. Something tells me someone isn't as mature. In a small, unfurnished apartment way too big for me and my handful of stuff. The school year went fine, but during the summer, the unit next to me started twice, blaring movies really loud at 2 a.m. or until 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. every day. I don't know what this guy was up to, but it was clockwork. His unit was the mirror image of mine, so his bedroom was next to mine, and the clarity of the sound made it obvious his TV was in his bedroom and aimed directly at our shared wall. It may have just been like next to the wall or mounted on the wall. You never know. Sounds like it was mounted. This goes on for several weeks, and I'm getting more and more annoyed. The day our paths crossed, he's leaving his place, and I asked him if he could turn it down or move it to a different room, or just aim the TV away from the shared wall. He dazedly nods, but that night there is no change. 2 a.m. TV starts blaring. At this point, I'm ready to take action. Recall that I barely own anything. I decided I don't really need the bedroom to be the room I sleep in, so I moved my bed to the living room, and the bedroom will now be my office. I acquire some computer speakers and set them up so they'll be aimed at our shared wall, and I set my alarm for 7 a.m. Which may not seem early, but 7 a.m. is when quiet time ends in this building. I also reasoned with I also reasoned that someone who was up until 3 or 4 a.m. daily was pretty unlikely to be waking up at 7 a.m. regularly. Every morning when the alarm would go off, I would wander up to my office and crank up that sound and pick the most obnoxious music you would not want to be woken up to and play it until. Oh, let me try that again. The most obnoxious music you would not want to be woken up to if you'd been up till 3 a.m. and press play. Led Zeppelin, Iron Maiden, Philip Glass, Atari Teenage Riot, and I treated this task like it was my job, regardless of whether I wanted to do it or not, for the rest of the summer. I have no idea if this changed his behavior since I was sleeping soundly in a different room, but I was sleeping especially well in the knowledge that I would be playing my neighbors some music that coming morning. I like that, because I've also had loud housemates who do not understand respect for others. And even though there was work the next day, they'd still be up all night playing. Like, nothing wrong with playing video games, but there is something wrong when you are yelling down a mic at like 6 in the morning and your neighbor sends you a message saying somebody was yelling all night and it woke up their daughter who had school the next day, and that daughter isn't even in their teens yet. So, big issue. Luckily, I managed to maintain a good rapport with the neighbors, so I'm not in any trouble with the neighbors. I just told them the God's honest truth. And then every now and then I will do favors to keep in the neighbors' good books, so to speak. I would 100% get up at 7 in the morning if I still had a housemate and just start vacuuming to Rammstein, to Slipknot, maybe over a speaker with extra bass. Maybe I'd start practicing some bass just to be extra petty. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed these petty revenges, and I shall see you in the next video. Stay fabulous, stay amazing, and I shall see you next time. Mwah.